Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for being here first, Miss Z. Just the relief I need after giving Trump and his billionaire friends all my tax money. Ooh, yes, I know. Um, um, I know, I know, I know. It is just, and then when I think of what they do with it, I'm just like, I know. Anyway, um, two things that are inevitable. They say it's inevitable that you have to pay taxes and death and taxes. Those are the two things that are a constant. So, mm, taxes. I am speechless. Oh, what can I say? They got me too. They got me two. They got me three. They got me four. They got me five. They just got me. I mean, they got me good too. I'm like, are you sure? Oh, and anyway, let me try not to think about it. Let me try not to think about it. My stomach starts feeling funny when I think about it. uh, now, where are we? Because suddenly the room started spinning. And what were we talking about? Because you know how they say, cat got your tongue? Tax got my tongue. The tax got my tongue. I can barely talk because the tax got my tongue. The tax won't let my tongue go. So right now, the tax got my tongue. Okay. All right. Say no more about it. I don't think I could survive it. Oh, hmm. Now, what else is happening? Oh yeah, Harry and Meghan are in Australia, day 3. So, um, Meghan broke out the mom T-shirt, and anyway, I have a tabloid lie that I need to expose. Actually, I am going to expose a tabloid lie, and then I'm very proud of myself because this is something that I've sorted out for myself. See, self, not self. Cat still got my tongue. Uh, anyway, I'll show it to you. So it was very solemn for Prince Harry yesterday. It's hard for me to figure out today and yesterday because of the time difference. But anyway, Harry cut quite a figure. Um, every bit the statesman, but officially he is definitely a global influencer, not actually a statesman. But it's hard to tell that he's not a statesman because he carries himself with so much gravitas. You know, he's got that authority, that he has, in spite of all of the things that has been said about the Sussexes. It's these kind of moments when that antiquated institution realizes exactly what they lost. Um, they'll never admit it, but it is a huge loss, a big mistake. And this is going to be one of those things that they're going to talk about for a long time. It will be discussed for a long, long time. There's just no way around it. It will be the topic of discussion for a long time because the Sussexes, time and time again, demonstrate not only that they're more popular, but they're just better at everything they do. As James O'Brien said, they're just better. They're just better. There's no way around it. Um, and also, it did not escape my notice, and I'm sure not yours either, that Harry has had a chance to have a very public wreath laying ceremony, which is something that I'm sure he's missed because for him, and I'm, going to speak for him, but I don't know what his thoughts are. But for him, I'm sure this is a way to very publicly pay respect to all of the soldiers and sailors, the airmen, um, all the men and women that have gone before into battle for their country without questioning the politics of the day. They made the ultimate sacrifice. So it's something very, very heavy. And it's something that his brother will never, ever fully appreciate because of the accident of birth. He will never have this experience. And maybe that's one of the reasons why he's so bitter. I don't know. I'm sure that doesn't take much to make him bitter. He just is. Hey, Heather Stroud, Mary H., Janice Goodrich, Compton Caligal, Connie Palmer, Carol Lunn, welcome, welcome. Now, this image was on that one-off, the one-off that Meghan has invested. We've never seen this outfit before. But yeah, that was included in the one-off. And well, anyway, we don't know what this was about. I mean, it looks like a rear entrance of some sort, right? It looks like it could be a community center. It's hard to tell. But with the one-off website, whatever you find there is available. And of course, again, Meghan is one of the investors. And I don't know, for all I know, she might be the investor. I really don't know. But it's called One Off. And I do hope that it is going to be a huge success. No, actually, I see it says discover what your favorite celebrities are wearing. Okay, so, oh, I see. Let me see. Arna Sabalenka, whoever that is, Ashley Simpson, Brooke Nader, Chanel Iman, whoever the heck that is. Let me find some people I know. Oh, there's Rob Lowe. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of people here. And a style-driven fashion discovery platform powered by the people setting the trends. Okay, so that's the women. They also have one for men. Okay, yeah, this is probably very new because there's only 5 men listed, and there appears to be, let's see, for the women, 23 women that is listed here. So yeah, this is probably very new. Yeah. Yes, I see at the bottom it says One Off World Inc. 2026. So it looks like it only just started. So I tell you what, I am I am going to definitely follow them. It looks like you can follow them on Instagram. So done. I am going to follow them on Instagram. And I recommend that you follow them as well. If you have Instagram, make sure you go over to Instagram and follow them. They only got 19,900 followers. Yes. Okay. Very good. Anything for our Duchess of Sussex. LDSW, welcome. Let's see. You say Chanel Iman is a runway fashion model like Naomi Campbell, Tyra Banks, Iman, Beverly Johnson, etc. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I had never heard of her before, but yeah, maybe I will individually follow some of those people that I saw listed there. I may do that. I like to follow interesting people. And then there is this what Meghan wore. Apparently, Meghan wore this outfit. This is the only photo I have. This is the only photo I have. That's it. I have not seen any other photos, just this one. I'm going to take a quick look and see if there are any additional photos. I do not see one. Maybe Meghan was going to dinner or lunch or something, but there are no other photos. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a quick search. Nope, that's it. Just the one photo. Now, quite possibly, let me see. Who is the designer? Nope, that's not the same. Is it? No, I don't know. Oh, well, I'm sorry. The designer is listed here as Posse, right? And the Logan Hollowell ring, Aquazera pumps, the Pass Pele earrings. Okay. All right. That's it then. Otherwise, I'm not seeing it anywhere. Tell you what, I'm going to try one more thing. Okay. Meghan has worn some of their fashions before, but I don't see anything with that white dress except for that one photo. Okay, that's going to drive me insane. That is going to drive me insane. But I'm pretty sure that at some point we'll see some other images. But for now, that is the only one. Okay. It is what it is. So yeah, maybe later on we'll get something. Angela M, welcome. Let me see. Heather Stroud, how are you? You that the earrings. Oh, let me do this. Lavalier pear earrings. Oh, okay. Wow, that's how much they cost. So then what does the passe pele mean? Where does that come from? Yeah, they are beautiful though. They are beautiful. As a matter of fact, let me show you the close-up picture that I have from earlier today. When you see it, oh, you're going to be like, how could anything be so beautiful? How could anything be that beautiful? Um, oh, there they are. Take a look. Look at that. It has the opal, right? And then you have the pearl suspended inside of the chain. And then you have a pearl drop at the bottom and what appears to be diamonds around the hoop. Those are absolutely gorgeous. Those are beautiful. I mean, that's just like one of those things you just can't stop looking at it. That is beautiful. Whoever came up with that idea, you have the iridescence of the pearls itself. Then you have the iridescent tones of the opal. And then just for extra measure, you have the sparkle of the channel set diamonds. It just doesn't get any better than that. Gorgeous. Oh, 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 oh. I know. Isn't that beautiful? You could say that again. At least it's not stolen. Wow. Anyway, I I I don't think I've seen anything as beautiful as that in a while. Oh, Pas Pele Lavalier. Is that like chandelier? Okay, Pas Pele Lavalier circle pearl earrings. Okay, okay. How cool. All right. I get it now. Thank you so much. All right. Moving on. So, Harry and Meghan's Australia tour shows what the royal family is missing. And it really does. Now, Professor Tim Wilson said as much himself the other day, and he constantly shares the same sentiment every time the Sussexes are on some type of tour. Not quasi, not pseudo, none of those insulting terms, but just the tour. It's just simply Harry and Meghan's tour. And charisma. They have what they call charisma. Now, Batir, Batir, young people lead the conversation on mental health alongside Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And that was today. Take a look there. Um, Regional and rural young Aussies are leading the conversation on mental health. Today, they shared their experiences at Swinburne with Prince Harry and Meghan, Duke and Duchess of Sussex. So there are tons of images. Wait until you see what Meghan wore. Um, she's wearing tights. She's wearing tights. Like a tiny dancer, she is wearing tights. And of course, Harry is wearing some of his favorite shoes. You know, he loves those I guess you call them loafers or Oxfords. Loafers. Anyway, he loves those suede shoes. Um, and as you can see, there's a very enthusiastic crowd waiting to greet them. I'm so sorry. I don't have any video to share. Or do I? I always last minute the video. Let me see. Did I have any video to share? As I feared, I do not. Although the local television stations, or I guess they could be national television stations for Australia, they definitely covered it. It's the what is it, seven, channel seven, and whatever the other one is, I can't recall the name of it. But they have been everywhere, and they have covered the entire trip. And Meghan's hair, I am loving the hair. It is very full. It almost seems like it's curled under a bit, but not really. I don't think so. But anyway, I think I like Meghan with her hair shorter like that. I think I like the shorter hair. I'm kind of wishing that it was shorter. That would be amazing for Meghan if her hair was a little shorter. And the thing is, they don't give Meghan the credit for it, but Meghan is not wearing hair extensions and such. She's just using her hair. I think, and this is just my opinion, but I'm going to just say that some women ought to consider, going a little bit shorter as they age. It's to wear multiple extensions and the putting a wig on top of another wig and sewing two wigs together. I'm just like, oh, so it looks a bit wiggy. And if it looks too wiggy, it probably is. Um, but yeah, but Meghan keeps it just perfect. And so she was greeted by the crowd of young people, and they seem to have like a circle where they enjoyed a good chat. Again, I do apologize. I could not find any videos available that I could share, but hopefully at some point I will. Although it would have been very awkward for the people in the group to record videos during these very serious conversations. But as you can see, Harry right here is holding center court on his side, and there is a group shot. Oh, thank you so much for that. So tights are worn when the dress is above the knee. Thank you so much. I did not know that that was the standard. Sounds like a good idea. Let's see the color in the pearl. I think from Western Australia near Broome. Oh, okay. And then there's a much bigger group shot. What a day to remember. What a day to remember. They are going to have such awesome memories to take with them, except for that one girl, first row, third from the right, who made a mistake and closed her eyes. Actually, two of the are three of the girls, they got their eyes closed. Oh, oh, that's interesting. All three of them, huh? Okay. All right. Nice. Nice going. Nice going, all three of you. Oh, Meghan looks beautiful. She looks beautiful. Now, here it's very obvious that her hair is longer, but I like that short hair on her. But still, the long hair is beautiful. Very nice. And we have on the Cartier tank watch, the love bracelet. And of course, a very serious and stoic looking Harry taking in all of the information. Harry is so good. So good. And as someone reported, Meghan gives the best hugs. And just think, there are some people that are still waiting to see Meghan at the retreat. And there's Meghan at this community center, fully accessible and available. And these kids didn't even have to wait that long. I wonder if they knew that this was going to happen today. And so it looks like this is the farewell. I tried to put everything in proper order. You know, you see the way that guy is holding the car door? I promise you that is probably former Secret Service. That is a Secret Service move right there, holding the car door like that. He was probably with the service. And so, arrival, departure. The arrival, the departure. And take a look at the people standing around there. Very cool. And of course, the I believe the president of the security firm is on the left with the silver hair. That is Chris Sanchez from Texas. And he don't play. So, oh yeah, this is out of order. This should have been before, but sorry about that. Anyway, this was their arrival. You can see the very enthusiastic crowd waiting. And notice, unlike the other place they went, there is a barrier. Someone had the wherewithal to put up a barrier. Thank goodness for that, because I felt a certain kind of way when they went to that art center and they were getting, let me just say this. I'll be very fair. They did not crowd them in. They were not crowded in, but still, um, their security and their staff members had to kind of extend their arms, like, stay back. So this is much better. See how much more sense this makes? So much easier. And then, of course, as for the security, they're more relaxed. It doesn't take much. That's not like a huge burden on the uh, local economy that someone had enough sense to put some barriers up. So, cheers for that. And then, of course, once they went inside of this place, which, by the way, let me tell you where they are right now. They are at some kind of tree. Okay, give me a second. Just that fast, I forgot what it was called. Oh. Okay, okay. Oh, I think Harry went to that centerpiece summit today. Yes, the 16th. The 16th, he went to the Centerpiece Summit this evening. Okay, I just realized that. Centerpiece. Very cool. Oh, I got a couple more photos to share with you. Okay. Don't let me forget to do that. And I'm pretty sure that at some point we're going to get some video from that. Yeah, I promise you, very shortly we're going to get some Centerpiece video. So when that does pop up, I will be there to retrieve it. Let me see what time it is there. It is 5:17 p.m. in Australia. 5:17 p.m. Yes, plenty time for the Centerpiece. It is still kind of early, you guys. You know, it took me a while to get everything organized, but I'm kind of glad now that I didn't come on sooner. And oh, what the hell is this place they visited? Let me see. You know, I told you I forgot all about it, and then I go to look for it and get everything but that. But anyway, it's some kind of forest preserve, something to do with trees. How about that? It's something to do with trees. Mm, okay. Nope, that's not it. Nope. Oh, okay, okay. I got it. The name of the place is I don't know. Okay, let's move on. Somebody find the name of that place. Anyway, so Meghan wore a trench coat, which I think is really cool. She wore the trench coat with her mom t-shirt, some jeans, and of course her favorite shoes. Now, things were getting just a little bit crowded for Harry at a certain point. And then of course, um someone decided that Harry needed something to comfort himself, so they gave him a weapon. See how he's smiling? He went from looking very serious. Now he's smiling because somebody has given him an ancient weapon. Look at there. He's happy now, just in case somebody starts something. And I don't know what the heck that is or why Harry decided to put it up to his face. I don't know if it's a mammo or if it's, I don't know what that is, but Harry decided it was okay to put it up to his face and then give it back. And check out the shoes that Meghan has on. That's that one, the ones that's got that little V shaped stripes on the side. I love this casual look for her. As Meghan said, you could describe her fashions as high and low. How beautiful she looks. Yep. Oh, how adorable is this? How adorable is this? I love when the Sussexes interacts with the littlest kids. How adorable. And I'm going to guess that that's her dad with the phone. They are going to be the envy of so many people when they get a chance to see these videos and photos. How adorable. And she must have a lot of personality because she is like holding a very long conversation, long for a kid. But that is very sweet. Is she a ginger? Is that what it is? Is this like some kind of caucus between the gingers? What's that? The UK trolls have disappeared? They could not break them after all the tantrums. Yeah. Some of the places that they visited was not announced to the public due to security concerns because it's a private visit. Yes. Yes. Thank you. What is it? Amazon. Um, what is that? At is it Visicolor? Uh, okay. I know I'm saying it wrong. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh my God, I just met Prince Harry and Meghan. They were so lovely and chatted to me. They were doing a walk at Yara. Oh, that's the name of the place, Yara. No one knew the time, so no one else was there except the press. And when they were leaving, Megan called out, "Bye, Narelle," and gave me a big wave. It was so great to see them. How about that? How about that? Bye, Narelle. Oh, wow. Oh, you're in Australia. That is so cool. Okay. Francilia Mosley, it's been a long time. Yes, that is it. It is very nice that they do that. That is a beautiful thing. The way that they get eye to eye with the kids instead of looming over them. That is a very beautiful thing. I would like to do that myself, but I'm just afraid that it would take an act of Congress to get me back up. Yeah, it would take probably um, quite a few people to get me back up. So for now, I'm just going to. I guess I'll just avoid talking to kids, not to embarrass myself, right? Anyway, that is very sweet. Cheers to the Sussexes. You understand. Thank you. So, and then of course the mom T-shirts. You may remember Kelly McGee Zafin or Zyphon, Megan's dearest friend. Well, Kelly, she has come up with some beautiful shirts that she has. Actually, they're not for sale; they are for donations for the charity that she runs. And Love Like a Mother, that's one of the other T-shirts. And if you take a look here, there's Emma Greedy. She's wearing the Mama T-shirt. Love Mama. And I'm so glad to see Harry is relaxed. For Harry, there are moments when he looks a little not so relaxed, but we all know why. It's because he is protecting the Duchess of Sussex, and nothing wrong with that. He's a good husband, and he's being very protective of his wife. Ah, you know, thank you for saying that. I have said this again and again that there is a very vocal minority of people that seem to get all the attention. But I am more than certain that most people do not sign up to that nonsense from the tabloids. So I'm in total agreement, and that goes for the UK as well. I refuse to believe that there are a majority or even half the people have such toxic feelings toward the Sussexes. I believe the majority of people understand exactly what's happening. And, as for those who do not see the light, they have given in to a very organized tabloid media. And um, it's just unfortunate that that's the world that we live in. It creates so much cynicism and sarcasm um, that I think it just keeps people angry and reactive. That there are so many toxic, negative, nasty things in the press constantly. And I will be the first person to say, I don't know any of these people. I only know what I believe. And I try to look past the headlines to find the humanity in anybody. So, um, that's my take on it. But thank you for sharing that. Aw, Ma and Pa Sussex. Ma and Pa Sussex. And Meghan with her trench coat. Always a good look. Now, I hate to lay this on you, but we have to talk about it. All of this attention has not escaped the notice of Kensington Palace and, of course, Clarence House. So, Willie Leaks, Willie Leaks has probably, by this point, matter of fact, I'm sure he has decided to call upon the Oompa Loompas. The Oompa Loompas. Yes, he has called upon the Oompa Loompas. Oh, Amazon, thank you so much for the super sticker. And again, thank you so much for your comments. Greatly appreciate it. So there is Willie Leaks in the center of it all with the Oompa Loompas. And he called upon his number one Oompa Loompa, Rebecca English. Rebecca Oompa Loompa English. And there's one of her hatchet jobs. How the Duke and Duchess of Dollar are now doing everything the late Queen wanted to avoid. Um, I don't mind having this conversation, but what I do mind is that it is so slanted in a negative way. It is so slanted against the Sussexes. The half in, half out, working royals, non working royals. The thing is, you can look at the Duke of Kent, the Duke of Gloucester, Princess and Princess Michael of Kent, and so many other members of the family who have had to earn their way. And I promise you, every dollar, every pound, every euro that the Sussexes have earned has been above board, has been flawlessly earned without any controversy. Nothing has been stolen. Everything is accounted for. There's no hidden anything on their taxes. They have done everything properly. They've hired the best people. They are spending more than the average person that may be anywhere close to their circumstances. Of course, that's a very small group of people considering, but they have done everything above board. And so, this article, which I have not even read the article and I'm not going to read it because I know that it is something created to belittle the Sussexes, to try to downplay their hard work. But Harry and Meghan must earn money. Meghan has already been an entrepreneur. Meghan has already been an influencer. All of the things that they accuse her of cashing in on is her right to cash in on it because Meghan was a celebrity before she ever married into that family. Now, you can argue to what degree Meghan's profile has been enhanced, but that is her right and her privilege. Harry married the woman he loved, and everything that is his, every birthright that is his, now belongs to his wife and children. And if that elevates their status, if that makes them more well known than they would have under any other circumstance, so be it. But it is within her right to earn money. Now, legally, they have done nothing wrong. They have done nothing that the other members of that clan, I mean, that family, I don't know why I keep calling them clan, but they haven't done anything that the members of that family have not done themselves. And that includes William and Charles. That includes the both of them who are earning huge amounts of money for doing very little because of a accident of birth. And William is more than able to take the 30 million pounds a year that he earns from his income from the Duchy of Cornwall. He can use that money any way he please, right? And so much of his life is subsidized. He's not paying for the convenience of the helicopters, which, of course, has not always been used for matters of state. His 5 or 6 forever homes. Is she going to write about that? Of course not. Rebecca English, the Oompa Loompa that she is the hired gun that goes after the Sussexes. And she, not only that, but she organizes other people within the media universe to do the same. But I insist, I repeat, whatever the case may be, it is within their rights to earn money. They must earn money, and they are going to be more successful at it than anybody else that has come out of that household. And that is what bothers them because the more money that they make, the better insulated they are from attacks like this. That income will insulate them from these attacks. It's not going to prevent the attacks. It's not going to miraculously stop the attacks. But I would say the more resources they have, the better that they will be able to deal with this. And that is the truth. So, um, there was a time when Harry thought that Miss Oompa Loompa was his friend. Can you believe that? He thought that monster was his friend. Take a look there. There's that little Oompa Loompa in disguise. And if you take a look on the right, Daily Mail royal editor denies using private investigators to blag Prince Harry's information. How about that? Yes, Miss Oompa Loompa herself has been accused. And think about it like this: around the time when that photo was taken, now I don't have any proof, so I cannot say that she's guilty of anything because I don't know. But she has been accused. She has been accused of hiring private investigators. She has been accused of being one of the people that have orchestrated this very abusive tactic of infiltrating people within Harry's life and that of his girlfriend at the time to get information. Now, was Miss Oompa Loompa responsible for that journalist who somehow found out which flight that Harry's girlfriend would travel and purchased the seat next to her? I don't know. But Rebecca English, Rebecca Brooks, Victoria Newton, all of these people, Hoghead Pierce Morgan, they want you to believe that everything that they've ever done was above board, and the information that could have only have come from extraordinary means happened because they just have some really good sources. Now, there was a huge budget, and there probably still is a huge budget at all of these tabloids that was dedicated to padding the pockets and paying off people and also hiring in private investigators. Now, to what degree Rebecca English played a role in that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure because I don't know. But I trust Harry. And if that is Harry's assertion, then I believe Harry. There's no reason to lie about it. He lived it. What do you think would happen if someone was to turn her life inside out as though she had no humanity? Poor Harry, standing there with that little monster, thinking that that little Oompa Loompa is his friend, traveling around the world, the Commonwealth, and such. And she's right there taking a big nosedive right into his business and then writing about it. Now, by what means that information was gathered is up for debate. But never trust an Oompa Loompa. Never. If their hair is green and their skin is orange, they cannot be trusted. Yes, maybe she was able to use a good foundation to cover up that orange skin of hers. Maybe she was able to color her orange hair, but we know who she is. She's an Oompa Loompa, and she cannot be trusted. Whatever she says or does, she is there to protect William and Kate, and of course to try to protect that institution. But I wouldn't trust her any further than I could throw her. The creepy crawly palace people chose a side when Meghan came on the scene. Of course, they chose the bread and butter. Those the of course thought they were all above Meghan. Exactly. So Yes, a horrid person, evil. I'm just going to say evil. I believe she's evil. I believe that most of those people that are with those tabloids are the embodiment of evil. They are bullies. They have no conscience. Um, I believe that it's almost like a blood sport for them. It really is like a blood sport. I just I've said this so many times, and I'm so sorry I'm going to repeat myself, but I don't know how you spend that much time and get so close to someone as kind and thoughtful as Harry. You've seen the childhood that he's had. You've seen the press take his mother away from him forever. And yet, the first opportunity and the next opportunity and even the last opportunity, you will say and do anything that you can to hurt him, to hurt his wife that you may not have ever met, to hurt their children, to hurt Meghan's mother, questioning Meghan's relationship with everybody she's ever known, all of the people who betrayed her, and you blame her for it. That is the embodiment of evil. That is the Oompa Loompa. Now, speaking of unhuman monsters, this one right here, I got some sound to play for you. I do apologize in advance for all of the gasping for air and the wheezing and belching and farting, but it's Robert Jobs and he can't help it. He keeps a lot of gas in his system. And well, anyway, let me try to share this before he, you know, before the pressure becomes too much and he just explodes. Okay. Oh. Oh, you can barely hear it. Let me see. For now 10 years. Every day for 10 years, I've been bullied and attacked. And I was Oh, Meghan is speaking. You know what? Let me go back. I'm gonna play this for you, and I do hope you can hear it. But she's speaking about how every day for 10 years that she has been bullied and attacked. That's what she just said. Um, anyway, it was at this event where she was speaking to the kids. Um, yeah, it was at this event. So, just to give you a bit of a visual, let me see if I can raise the sound a bit. 10 years, every day for 10 years, I've been bullied and attacked, and I was the most trolled person in the entire world, man or woman. Still here. And so when I think of all of you and what you're experiencing, I think so much of that is having to realize that, that industry, that $1 billion industry that is completely anchored and predicated on cruelty to get clicks, that's not going to change. So you have to be stronger than that. And a friend of mine gave me a little bag that had a quote on it that I put on. And I look at it every single day. And I would share it with you because sometimes I can imagine as you talk about depression or anxiety or the willingness or lack of appetite to even want to get out of bed or keep going, that this is the quote that it says, and I think it's important that you remember because I try to as well. My wish for you is that you continue
Continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness, and to allow humor to lighten the burden of your tender heart. And that's my wish for all of you as well. And you can do it together. And I'm not going to say it's easy. I will personally tell you it is not easy, but you can do it. And my wish for all of you is to just continue for now 10 years.
Okay, I'm not sure of how much of that you could hear, but she said every day for 10 years she has been bullied and attacked by the press, or by people, for clicks and engagement. And she said it's a $1 billion industry and that it's not going to stop. um well, yeah, and well, that's what she had to share. And it's unfortunate, but it's also very true. Now, there was a lot of background noise, and so it was very difficult to hear. But she said, I was the most trolled person in the entire world. Man or woman, I was the most trolled person in the entire world. You know, I guess I'm not surprised that she said that, but I was just hoping that she did not realize that. For 10 years now, every day for 10 years, I have been bullied and attacked. I was the most trolled person in the entire world. Wow. That's heavy. That is very, very heavy. And she said the only thing that you can do is just to try to be stronger, because it's not going to stop. You have to try to be stronger because that type of thing is not going to stop. And that is very unfortunate, but it's also very true that all of the outrage that you see on the internet, the majority of it is coming from people who have turned that into a business model. That is their business model. It's one of the reasons why I've stayed with Harry and Meghan as opposed to doing any other type of channel, is because I don't want to be in a position where I have to attack everything and everybody with the hopes of engagement. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't want to pretend like I'm angry with this person or that I'm confused or upset with someone that I know nothing about and that I care nothing about. I don't care about that person. So why would I wake up and like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But that kind of engagement, it forces you to lean in. Now, yes, there are some people that are going to want your take and your opinion about certain things, and that's okay. But where it really crosses the line is when you just pretend that you are so angry and so outraged, or that you buy a candle and you pull the wick out of it, right? You buy a candle, a $64 candle, and you pull the wick out of it, and then you make a video complaining to the world that Meghan Markle has ripped me off. Look at the poor quality of her products. And even though there wouldn't be a hole in the wax if you had not just yanked the wick out of it, right? But there are people who will choose to believe that it's true. And it's a choice. It is a choice. They choose to believe that that is the truth. So, wow, that was pretty powerful. And let's just hold our breath and wait for the weekend to see how it's twisted, to see how it is reimagined by the same people that has been bullying Meghan for the past 10 years. Let's wait and see how they twist it to suit their own purposes. Okay, I'm going to go back to where I was, which I have lost my place. I was talking about the Oompa Loompa, one of the main offenders. This guy. Oh, he was salivating. He was literally frothing at the mouth with outrage. Okay, here goes, you guys. Sorry about that.
And I was on a show on the BBC this morning, which showed the nonsense that the BBC come out with when they said, "Oh, our listeners say that it's not costing the taxpayer any money." I said, "Well, it is costing the taxpayer money. Well, it's not costing the British taxpayer." I said, "Well, the Australian taxpayer is paying, and he's the king of Australia, so it's having an impact upon the taxpayer in a sovereign nation, in a nation which is a Commonwealth realm and one of the most important. And the point of it is they don't get it. And if you're telling me that the PR team on a private visit, I think there's 17 people, but they were met at the airport with the police because the New South Wales Premier, he's not going to allow anything to happen on his watch. He's going to bring in all the
And
cops.
they knew that.
They knew that, and it's such a load of old nonsense. And as for the stuff about royal tour, it's not a royal tour. No. Look, they were organising a rota for the press.
Yes.
I mean, they've got embargoes. They're trying to embargo the Australian press. Two American grifters embargoing the Australian press in their country. Who do they think they are?
Exactly. And
50.
Who do they think they are? Who do they think they are? When there is a baseball game, a football game, when there's any type of team traveling back to their hotel, the team that's visiting from another city, even if it's college football, there is usually a coach bus and a police escort. If it's Taylor Swift, then the airport police are going to lead the vehicles. They don't just allow you to drive onto the airport tarmac, runway, and all that. There is a vehicle that you are supposed to follow to the plane. So, yes, there would be a police vehicle, a security agent of some sort to greet the plane with the vehicles that are going to drive them. You're not allowed to just drive around the airport. You are to stay in close quarters with the lead vehicle. So, yes, there were two SUVs for the Sussexes, and they were led to and from the plane when they arrived. There was no red carpet. There was no official there to greet them. It was all very low key. I don't understand what the big deal is. Any foreign dignitary visiting would likely have a police escort. And I don't believe they sit there and try to figure out how much does it cost. And then there was even someone who has gone so far as to say that there are people within most major city police force that are there for dignitaries, that are there for VIPs. And I don't care what you feel about Harry and Meghan, they are VIPs. They are very important people. And they warrant a police escort. Oprah Winfrey has gone to places around the United States. And when there is notification that some big event is going to take place, they may choose to give her a police escort. This is not such a big deal. But most places that the Sussexes have traveled, they have not had a police escort. The only police escort that we know of was onto the airfield, and that's it, which is the place where you're supposed to have someone take you to the plane. I'm sure whoever the chauffeur that drove them to and from the airport, I'm sure that person is not licensed to drive on the airport. I'm sure that they do not have clearance to be there. Okay? So that explains that. Now, we're going to continue. These are a few photos that I just threw in there randomly from yesterday. Also, whenever there's a crowd of people, guess what? Police gather. When a high profile individual has a funeral, the police are usually present. If a gang member is gunned down, well, the police may be present. There's a lot of reasons why there's a police presence. And it doesn't have to be paid for and orchestrated. The police themselves may choose to be in certain places. Now, this was a huge event. I don't know how many people worked at the hospital. I don't know how many people were visiting family members or what, but it was a huge turnout. And whether or not the Sussexes asked for it, I think that you ought to have some kind of coverage. And then on the right side, of course, that was the service where Harry laid the wreath. Again, a huge crowd. They're just bothered by the huge amount of people, by the large turnout of people that lends to the, shall we say, prestige of the moment of the Sussexes. And they just don't like it. And that's why Robert Jobson was salivating, frothing at the mouth, huffing and puffing, and he almost broke his gastric sleeve, furious with the Sussexes for being high profile individuals. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead, and then I'm going to come back to this because this is to the point about the police. And then I'll go back to that. All right. So this person right here, he actually was one of the big headlines of the Daily Mail. Royally unimpressed. Royally unimpressed. Now, remember, I said I had a lie that I wanted to expose. Here goes. So this guy has been following the Sussexes for the past 3 days. I want you to hear what he's had to say about it.
being spoken with by some representatives from the Korea Heritage Trust. And this is not a public event. This was not an advertised event, but we are near, we'll just swing around quickly, near the Yarra River here. In the distance there, something that I have seen only today for the first time in the 3 days that they've been in Melbourne, and that is police. Before Harry and Meghan arrived, there was a lot of discussion about, well, who's going to pay for the police escorts and the motorcades, and who's going to look, will that be the taxpayer? There have been no motorcades, there have been no police, they've been travelling in 2 Range Rovers, but this is the first time I've seen them, and I would suspect that they maybe were in the area, and this is probably the most, though, exposed that they have been during their 3 days here. Everything else has been pretty much indoors and by invitation only.
So, Zandy Sussex, Exhibit E of why you should never believe the lying British media. Turns out there have been no motorcades, no taxpayer-funded police escorts so far. So much for the fake petition by fake Australians. Now, Zandy Sussex is Australian. Let me just say that. But she's referring to people that signed a petition that are not even from Australia. And trust me when I say this, the media has done zero to establish whether 45,000 people that signed a petition were Australian or not Australian. It's an online petition available to whomever wants to sign on to it. 45,000 people. A petition of 45,000. So essentially, that's 45,000 people angered to the point of outrage that they participated in a petition that had no measure of truth to it whatsoever. None. Now, I've already explained the airport. The tabloid media is not going to say, oh, you know what? That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, they probably would have security from the airport take them to the plane. Aside from that, what motorcades? 2 vehicles. And if Robert Jobson is correct, they have traveled with 17 people, which include, of course, their staff and their security. So it is a false outrage. It is based on lies. As you can see, the reporter, he's at a discreet distance. Harry is in the background talking, which you can see in the middle picture. You see the big rock behind him? Well, if you look at the middle picture, you can see part of the rock there, right? And then if you look over to the right, he said, this is the first time that I've seen police officers. And chances are they were just in the area. This was not an announced event. The Sussexes chose to visit with their bodyguards. End of. That's it. The people that are there just so happen to be there during the visit. And I've heard over and over again people say, oh, I didn't even know they were going to be here. I don't think most people realized that they were going to be here. They just happened to be there when they arrived. And there you go. Now, this guy obviously either knew about it or followed them or he was invited. I don't know. But Robert Jobson is trying to create this idea that the Sussexes were trying to boss around the Australian press. I wonder if Robert Jobson will take a trip with me in the time machine, and let's go back to the one and only solo trip from Kate Middleton going to Denmark, where they were trying to tell the Danish press what to do. There was a huge falling out between the palace and the Danish press. And of course, the Danish press decided, okay, we will run some photos of Kate, unedited, no filter. We'll just put them out there. But they were trying to boss around the Danish press. I wonder if Robert Jobson recalls that. Or even better, does Robert Jobson recall that moment when they went to Kenya and he and the rest of the British press ate up all the good food, would not allow the Kenyan press to ride in the same vehicles with them, and then gave them box lunches, some of which appeared to have been picked over. That's Robert Jobson, who was a part of that press pack that was so abusive to the Kenyan press. And we know this because the Kenyan press were quite vocal about it. So when it comes to bullying, when it comes to the press bullying people, he's right in the thick of it. Now, this part right here about being unimpressed, there's more. There's more.
As they left, I tried to get ahead of them a few metres to take a couple of selfies with them in the background. And then Harry has actually come up to me and is engaged with me while I'm taking a couple of selfies. I didn't want them to crowd around me, but Harry grabbed me and he said, because I've been with them for 3 days now, he said, Paul, you're always smiling. And I said, it's because I'm happy to see you, Harry. He said, no, but really, whenever I've seen you the last couple of days, you're always smiling. And I said, because we like having you here, mate. And then he said, well, it's good to see, something like, it's good to see you, mate, and I love your tie, right? Now, I've seen an article online that has twisted that engagement into me ambushing them for a selfie and somehow compromising things by trying to get them in the background of the selfie. I tried to just, because I'm one of these journalists that needs things on the record, so I did my very best just to clarify where things are at, and that's what we got from the Prince.
So I want you to take a look where on the bottom right, there's a photo of this same reporter with the microphone extended. He did not cross in front of the Sussexes. He did not run up to the Sussexes. All of the press kept a very respectable distance. There's no barrier there. Now, this is the one place where they visited. I was a little uncomfortable, but there's no barrier there. They policed themselves, right? Also, there were, some people from the Sussex's office that were also trying to keep the crowd at bay. So he spent 3 days with them. There was no, weirdness between himself and Harry whatsoever. But by the time the Daily Mail got a hold of it, they turned it into something completely different. They turned it into like this adversarial exchange and bitterness, and no, there was none of that. You heard it from him directly, and that's why his the lady at the studio is sitting there laughing, because apparently this is like big news that he overstepped the mark, and Harry had to confront him, and nothing of the sort happened. Nothing. So there you have it. Much to do about nothing. Now I'm going to go back to where I left off. And that's this right here. William, Prince William, broke tradition by, I'm sorry, broke tradition and surprised staff, palace staff. Oh, let me get this straight. I'm sorry. I hear a siren outside at 3 in the morning. Prince sounds like the fire department. Not here, of course, but they're going down the street. Prince William broke tradition and surprised palace staff by rejecting this royal privilege. When I saw that, I said to myself, that's interesting. William trying to save money for the taxpayers. William trying not to make a fuss. William is just so humble, he doesn't want for that attention. Take a look at those 3 little squares I have up there at the top. One of them says February 27th, 1490. July 13th, 1911. July 1st, 1969. Do you know what those are? Do you know what those recognize? Those are investitures. When I saw this, I'm like, I would love to believe that William is so thoughtful and so considerate of others and so thoughtful where the taxpayers are concerned that he prefers not to make a fuss. He doesn't want an investiture. I told you guys before, William doesn't really like those ceremonies and services. He hates it. He hates it. He hates the idea of getting in costume. I have to say, where that's concerned, I have to show just a little bit of respect because I think Charles looks absolutely ridiculous. And there was the one thing that Charles did that pushed me over the edge. I don't even feel like talking about it now, but if you know, you know. That one moment when Charles pushed me over the edge with those effing costumes. Anyway, there's only ever been 3 ceremonies. 3. And how did I figure this out? I researched it. I just simply questioned AI, how many investiture ceremonies have there been? There's only ever been 3. It's kind of like the Easter message. It's not really a thing. It was something that Charles did so that he would have something to do because his mother wouldn't leave the flipping throne. So back in 1969, a post-war Britain, a shrinking empire, by the 1960s, how many countries decided we're done with the British? I'm just going to take a guess. I'm not going to say how many, but I do believe, what was it, Nigeria? Didn't they establish their independence back in the 60s? Maybe Belize? Trinidad, Tobago? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is some of those countries are in the Commonwealth. Some of them actually still have Charles as the head of state. But we're talking post-war Britain. People were feeling a certain way because the empire that was so big, the sun never set all of a sudden is down to just a few Commonwealth countries, not much of the empire anymore, just a mere shadow of itself. So someone got the bright idea, since Charles may be Prince of Wales for a long time, let's have a big pageant. Let's have this huge ceremony. Let's unite people with this ceremony that will be seen by what's left of the empire. That's what it was. It was just an excuse to demonstrate we still got it. We are still Britain, and we still do it better than anybody else can. Oh, the pageantry, the red coats, the carriages, blah, 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 blah. That was what this was about. It's not like it was a firmly established tradition. They had one in 1490 and then didn't have another one until 1911. And then the next one was 1969. So William realized, I'm not going to do that. I don't have to, and I don't want to. Let me see. Edith Peterson. Oh, it's been a while, Edith. Thank you so much for being here. Prince Archie's birthday soon. We're going to support any of our faves organizations. Yes, as a matter of fact, I do think the worldwide Sussex, whatever community, I do believe that they have something, and I will make sure that I share that soon. But I did see that that they're going to do something for Archie's birthday, or is it Archie's birthday first, or is it Lilibeth's first? But let me take a quick look here. Sussex community events. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, I don't see it right now, but as I said, I will try to get that information so we can figure out what we're supporting for the birthdays. And the reason why I can't find it is because they've added so much stuff from this trip that is kind of buried, but I'm taking a look. But yeah, okay, I will do that later. But thank you so much for reminding me to get that information out, because it is important. And I'm very sure that they're going to have something for us. Okay, yeah, I will do that. Okay, let me. Oh, and by the way, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being here. Now, this is what I was wanted to share with you. Since the establishment of modern tradition, there has been 3 major Prince of Wales investiture ceremonies or formal services held at significant historic sites. Prince Arthur in 1490 invested at the Palace of Westminster on the 27th of February, 1490. Prince Edward, future Edward the Eighth, in 1911, invested at Carnarvon Castle in a reinvented ceremony designed by David Lloyd George. He was the prime minister, right? And then Charles III also held a Prince Charles, now King Charles III. He also held an event there at the Carnarvon Castle. This was the most widely watched investiture in history, televised to an audience of over 500 million. And again, if I had to guess that was just a big flex to show that, yes, the British Empire is shrinking, but we're still relevant and important. Check out this very cool investiture ceremony for Charles. Now, you see that picture on the right side? Guess what that is? Can anybody guess what that picture is on the right? Have you ever heard that term, all hell is breaking loose? All hell broke loose. While the title has been used since the 13th century, an investiture service is not a legal requirement. The title is officially conferred via letters patent issued by the monarch between the 17th and the early 20th centuries. Formal ceremonies fell out of fashion and were often replaced by simple proclamations or introductions in front of Parliament. Prince William, who became the Prince of Wales in 2022, opted not to have a formal investiture ceremony or church service to mark the occasion. Would you like to know more about the regalia used in these ceremonies? Or the protests that surrounded the 1969 event? Now remember, AI can make mistakes. Well, that's what that picture is. Those are people protesting the investiture of Prince Charles. They're protesting because remember, there are people that have a lot of pride in their Welsh heritage, and they feel this idea of a Prince of Wales is a huge insult. It's a huge insult, and they don't like it. Now, the protests leading up to the investiture of Charles as Prince of Wales was described as the anti-investiture movement. A number of organizations and individuals in Wales were against the investiture, including, is it David Ewan, Edward Millward, Kofia, something, let's see, remember 2012. Oh, I guess Kofia 2012, 12, what am I saying? 1282. Remember 1282. I think that was the year that they, is that when they killed the last Welsh born prince? Anyway, and the Welsh Language Society, for a minority of people, the investiture itself was controversial and led to widespread protests. On the day of the investiture, a few nonviolent protesters were arrested. Since the investiture of Charles, further notable organizations and figures in Wales have called for the end of the title, including Plaid Serum, a Siru, Simru, which has since changed its stance. Republic Michael Sheen, Republic, the Republic people, the actor Michael Sheen, and the rest of these people. On the 9th of September 2022, Prince William was announced as Prince of Wales by King Charles III. By the 12th of September, a petition calling to end the use of the title had received 20,000 signatures. So William has another reason to avoid that ceremony. And it's not just because he doesn't like ceremonies, it's not because he doesn't like costumes, it's because he doesn't want the protest. He does not want to have a huge crowd of people chanting and booing his investiture. So that is the main reason why he doesn't want to do it. So please do not be impressed by this gesture from William. He's not trying to save money, he's trying to save face. Let's see what Queen Elizabeth would have done about Prince Harry and Prince William's rift today. You know what she would have done? Nothing. She would have sided with William. She would have pretended as though she was actually doing something to stop it. And pretty much, William would have been able to act as he pleases, and Harry and Meghan would have been left to wither on the vine. That's pretty much what she would have done. She wouldn't have done anything about it. Also, it's kind of a silly question because, my God, she would have been 100 years old. I think she would have other stuff to do, like, decide to take the next breath. I don't know. She would have been trying to avoid Liz Truss, right? She would have been avoiding shaking hands with Liz Truss, the angel of death, Liz Truss. She would have been trying to avoid her. Anyway, it's a silly question. We already know what Queen Elizabeth would have done. She would have done what she's always done, nothing. She would have taken the path of least resistance. She would have paid out more money for Andrew. It's silly. Why even bother with that? Let's see. King Charles and Prince William are making millions from charities and public services, including armed forces. And what about Harry? Well, Royal Family Live says Harry makes personal £1.1 million children in need donation as he visits project in Nottingham. See the difference? One of them does nothing but take, and the other one constantly gives. That is the difference. So while these people are trying to label the Sussexes as greedy and constantly thinking about money and no, they're the ones that actually give. They don't just sit there and take, they also give. My brave girl Dorothy has all and really enjoyed. Wait a minute. My brave little girl has. Is that what does all mean? Is that like ALS? Did they mean ALS and really enjoys meeting them both? Has all. Oh, I don't know what she means by that. But anyway, there on the right side, it was very special for our heart warrior, Joshua, to meet Meghan. Definitely a lifetime memory. Sweet, sweet, sweet. That is from, of course, the Children's Hospital in Melbourne. And I think I am done, right? Oh, one one last thing. Anyway, after this, I'm done. Remember, I spoke about this troll the other day. There has been an irony. There has to be an irony of life. Being a guest judge on the MasterChef cooking show when your own cooking show failed twice because you cannot cook and your brand of food failed and got you dropped by your investors because you could not sell, nor could you even make jam properly. She is not even at the level of the participants who are chefs in their own right. Whose cooking can Meghan judge? This is a perfect example of how having royal titles has opened doors for this woman that by merit she could never dream of having. Now, Meghan has actually judged on a cooking show before. Um, Meghan has made appearances on American television cooking. At least I know of the Rachel Ray show and the Today Show for certain. Not to mention that Meghan's one pan spaghetti stirred up an international debate. Now, whether or not you think it was a good idea, whether or not you like the concept, whether or not you enjoy cooking, everybody was talking about it. Everybody and their mother was making one pan spaghetti. And why? Because of Meghan. So to pretend that Meghan has had zero impact or very little impact is ridiculous. What is it? La Crochet. La Crochet. Meghan has sold more pans than any advertising campaign would have. They could have had the biggest promotions in the world. I compare Meghan's La Crochet to Oprah's You Get a Car moment. And Meghan didn't even mention the pan. That's what's so interesting. Meghan made no reference to the pan. The pan was just there. And yet, there was a stampede of people trying to get those pans. So, this person who pretends to be a woman of African descent, we've already established that this is a troll who used this fake image. It is just simply have to be one that you choose to believe or not. But Meghan already had celebrity before she entered that family. And I would be the first to say that it has enhanced her global appeal having been married into that family. But as I once told someone that I helped years ago, and I really do mean I helped in a way that surprised me. And the one thing that I hate to hear is, well, you if it wasn't for you, I don't like to talk about that stuff. I did what I did because that's who I am. But that's not the important part. What's important is what you made of it, what you have made of it. A lot of people can open a door for you in life. But sadly, there's not enough people out there who have the ability to walk through the door. And so Meghan has made a life for herself. She's a self made person. And when the time came, she fell in love with Harry, and they both completed each other. Harry's star has risen even higher because of Meghan, and likewise, her star has risen even higher because of Harry. But when you marry someone, their birthright becomes your birthright. Their privileges becomes your privileges. And that's just the way life is. So what I see is a very jealous troll who has looked at Meghan this woman of African descent, this American who does not seem to know her place. Well, I'm here to tell you, like any woman anywhere in this world, her place is where she makes it. Not where you tell her it is, not where you think it is, but her place is wherever she makes it. And that's that. There's nothing else to add to it. Her place is wherever she makes it. So, anyway, you guys, I am done for now. I may come back. Um, uh, I'll come on early today, tomorrow, whichever you want to call it. But I've been trying to come on twice a day while we have so much um, stuff to enjoy from the Sussexes. So maybe in about 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever the case may be. But I will be back. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. And thank you all for your likes. Make sure you do that thumbs up. Thank you for your super chats and super stickers. And let's see. I love the one pot spaghetti. Still making it today. Adding my own herbs to it. Even bought a pan like it in a secondhand store, brand new at $25. Wow. Very cool. Yeah, you can't beat cast iron. The way cast iron distributes the heat, you just cannot beat that. Yes, thank you, LDSW. Meghan was also guest judge on Chopped Jr. on the Food Network. Hello. 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 Yes, and Meghan's cookbook. All of those people from that institution and family members that went over to the hub kitchen and all they did was look. That American, that Black American, was the one who came up with the idea of the cookbook. How about that? How about them, their apples? Wow. Really? I had no idea. Oh, I'm so sorry. I missed all this. Which is why the Welsh aren't happy about this. It's why Charles made such a big effort to learn Welsh. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't for puritanical reasons. I'm sure he had his motivations. And so there's about 7 castles. Or even use most people to build the castles. They imported English people and starved the Welsh instead. Wow. Yeah, the hub kitchen. It was a great idea because, all right, the people were displaced by the fire and they did not have proper kitchens. I think they were staying at hotels, a lot of them. And so their dietary needs were not being met properly. They did not have home cooking. And so the ladies set up the kitchen so that they could make meals for people and people could save money instead of trying to eat takeaway and all that day after day. It was a way that to bring the community together and save money. So they rented space in a mosque and they operated a kitchen there. And then Meghan said, "Well, how come you only open the kitchen a couple times a week?" They said, "Because of a lack of funding." And that's when Meghan said, "Well, if we write a cookbook, you can put your favorite recipes in the cookbook. I'll write the forward, and that should be able to bring some money in." Now, if if nothing else tells you that Meghan was going to be successful in life, that is one of the best reasons to know that with Harry or without Harry, Meghan was destined to make it. Okay? Not too many people would have brought all of those pieces together to come up with a sustainable income for that kitchen to operate. What, 7 days a week, 6 days a week, whatever it was? Not many people would have come up with that. You may have had a CEO, a captain of industry, perhaps someone who had experience in not for profits that may have said, if we do this or do that. But Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, in one of her first royal outings, came up with a brilliant idea. And the British press rarely mentions it. The British press refuses to celebrate it. It was a stroke of genius. That says that Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, that Meghan Markle, Rachel Meghan Markle, is operating on a much higher level. This is why Harry sees her as his equal. Actually, Harry sees her much more than that, but I'm just going to say as his equal. Because just as Harry came up with the Invictus games, Meghan came up with that cookbook. Meghan didn't grow up in the royal family. Meghan just knew that with enough effort, anything is possible. So, I mean, it's something that more people should know about. I think, especially some of the people who aren't really sure why there's so much hostility. I wish more people knew about that, but that was brilliant. And it was her idea. One of many ideas. Like, why don't we move to California? Right? Why don't we move to California? Not just because she's from California, but having experienced life, I'll just say on the fringes of fame, growing up on the fringes of fame, she understood that people with a high profile would actually find a very safe community in California, as opposed to, oh, it's paparazzi jumping out of the bushes. No, that's not the way it is. That's not the way it is. So, yeah, she is definitely very bright, and nobody can take that away from her. That's why they had to get her out of that family because they just did not want someone that intelligent asking too many questions. Oh, well. Okay. See you guys later. Love you guys. Cheers.